That's amazing.
And like now that we just went live again, it's just going to do 200.
Yeah, it's going to drop off. Thank you to all of you who are joining us. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Awesome Hardware.
Yeah.
This is the show that Kyle and I do. We do it every Tuesday evenings, in fact, at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time on twitch.tv/awesomehardware.
This ain't your mama's tech news show.
My wife's giving me a funny look. I don't know what it means. We try to.
Well, Paul and I do it specifically with each other every Tuesday.
Kyle's the one who's been absent the past couple weeks.
You've had to do it.
Having other partners.
No, what? No, there's no other partners.
Don't worry, Diana. I'm only Tuesday in his phone book.
Yes. Look, there's a lot of ins and outs, a lot of what have yous.
And what?
All right, so
Choice of words.
Anyway, twitch.tv/awesomehardware. This is where we typically stream to.
Yes.
I am theoretically streaming also to YouTube. I'm even here that I'm streaming live on YouTube, which means that I have been successful with my YouTube streaming today.
You're the one who told me how to set it up.
I tried to.
Failed.
I did everything.
You failed me.
I did everything according to by the book.
I call sabotage.
As far as streaming to YouTube, I don't know what is going on.
How dare you?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Dare
you?
My bad. Oh, there's also a dragon flying by right now. Videos. How do you even see this on YouTube? Is it under videos? Is it under live?
Is live a thing?
Yeah, /live is a thing. Awesome Hardware 40.
You're offline. Nope.
Awesome Hardware 40. Look, that's us right there.
How?
Look, we're streaming.
It's amazing.
We're streaming live to YouTube.
How come mine
This is
didn't
absolutely
work?
fabulous. I'm so happy about this.
I hate you. It's not fair.
I don't. Thank you to everyone who's watching on YouTube as well as on Twitch. We love all you guys.
Oh, don't rub it in.
Honestly, what we're trying to do is broadcast to as wide a. We're trying to cast a wide net, so
all
to
the
speak.
mediums.
Yes, so that people can watch. Anyway, all right.
It's also less work for us.
Yes, it is less work.
Mainly.
For us.
That's why we're doing it.
All right, so guys, if you're interested in purchasing stuff to help support us, awesomesaucenetwork.com/store is Kyle's store. You can buy shirts like his CP Cooler shirt and his Stay Positive shirt and his other shirts. They're all available over on there. Also, you might notice here at the top of the store today, this is just added today, if you use offer code OVER50 and you place an order that's worth $50 or more, you will get 10% off.
Yeah.
That's at least $5.
That's a pretty good deal.
It is. That deal also applies to my store. My store is store.paulshardware.net/clothing. But not only do I have this over 50 deal where you'll get 10% off all orders over $50, but also all of my original logo shirts are on sale. In fact, these are on closeout. I am not planning to restock these. So you get one chance to get these shirts. I got the
exclusive,
the gray, the sort of natural white, and the men's premium heather. All $12, $11.99 each.
You're not gonna restock any of those Paul's Hardware shirts?
No, I'm discontinuing that logo.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
See,
you know, I'm actually probably gonna discontinue one of my logos as well.
Well, you should. That's if you're.
Everyone's doing it
you're
now.
Badass. Also, these pullover sweatshirts are $25 each. Unprecedented sale on these. These are high quality sweatshirts.
They're usually 40, aren't they?
Yeah, they're usually $40. These are also on closeout. There's a black logo version and a white logo version. So I encourage all of you guys, if you're looking for shirts and if you're looking for a reasonable deal on shirts, you got these for $12. You got the sweatshirts for $25, and you also have the 10% off any orders over $50. So I strongly encourage you guys to check those out if you want some high quality stuff to wear this winter.
That's legit, yo. Buy some swag.
In fact, you can buy those shirts and wear them during any season.
And also tweet us pictures of you guys wearing the merch that you buy from our stores, because we like seeing those.
Yeah.
And sometimes I use them.
I actually have a collection of those images. I have not put them together to use for anything.
That's just creepy,
yet.
Paul. That's just really creepy.
I just like to keep them. I like to watch.
You basically have them on rotate on your back, your screensaver.
Indeed.
It's like a different dude wearing your shirts
exactly
every day.
All right. Wrong button. Let's move on to some tech news.
Hey.
This is the second half of the show, by the way.
Yep.
If you guys missed the first half of the show, this is episode number 40. And you're watching in the future, at least on our YouTube channels, check out Kyle's channel. You didn't. Kyle's channel didn't go live, so maybe actually, if you're watching my video right now, you might be in that tiny group of people who can't watch the first half yet.
If you only just tuned in right now.
If you're in that group of people, tweet to Kyle right now at Forever a Kyle, and be like, Kyle, post your damn half of the show.
You're just rubbing it in because
I'm rubbing it in because we tried to go live for
your
Kyle's half.
Your half is just streaming perfectly to YouTube.
Right, but for some reason my half is working.
I think you set me up.
Let's move on to some tech news. Let's start off with this tech news right over here, which is from PC Perspective. Nvidia rumor, big old rumor alert here. But this is from PC Perspective. Nvidia might be cutting the costs or the prices of their GTX 900 series GPUs.
Nice.
Indeed.
Well, if it's true.
If it is true. This being rumor.
The rumor mill.
So this might happen. This might happen, according to this article, in time for holiday shopping, which would have to be within the next week or two.
Yeah. They better get on it.
Yeah.
Make a decision. Make a move. NVIDIA.
If the rumors in this article are true, the GTX 980 will be dropping to $450, $449, which is $50 to $100 off its current price. The GTX 970 will drop to $299, which is about $30 off of its current retail price. And the 960 will go to $179 or $180-ish, which is $20-ish off of its retail price. All good price drops, all stuff that we would look for. All stuff that actually we've seen a fair amount of just with the Black Friday pricing.
Right.
Black Friday pricing being prices that we expect to see like, wow, those are on sale briefly for a crazy deal for Black Friday, but these might actually continue.
Nice.
If that is the case, then the Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales have already reflected some of these prices, and it could maybe, just maybe, potentially push AMD to answer back with some price drops or adjustments for its 300 series or even Fury and Nano series graphics cards.
Nice. Maybe.
Rumor
mill.
Okay. All right, let's move on.
All
right. Next up, I thought this one was kind of interesting. I saw this. So bear in mind, I'm dealing with stories going back a couple weeks because we didn't do the normal show last week. So I have a couple things that were from the week before. This actually is from the week before. This is from November 18th.
God damn it, now I'm getting all these tweets. People telling me to post my half of the show. Thanks, Paul.
Damn it, Kyle, post your half of the show.
Thank you.
Der8hour has created this Skylake delid-die-mate tool. Der Bauer?
Come on, you noob.
Der Bauer, is that what it is?
Der Bauer. He's a very famous overclocker.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sorry, Der Bauer.
He's a young guy.
I'm sorry, I'm not.
Pretty sure
I didn't know that was Der Bauer. All right, sorry, Der Bauer.
Right.
Anyway, Overclockers UK in the UK is now selling this tool, which is a Skylake delidding tool, because the Skylake PCB, the actual the green part right here, is actually thinner than in previous versions, so it's harder to pop the heat spreader off than it has been in previous years. Right. So you buy this tool, allows you to easily pop that off. There's a video here as well.
Yeah,
that shows it. Here's Der Bauer. It's a 3-minute video. I'm going to jump forward to the part where it actually pops off. Maybe. Come on. Oh, they speeded it up. It sped up.
I think he's got he owns a pretty decently sized CNC mill.
Oh, there we go. All right, so basically it holds.
Wow.
Yeah, so you guys can see it holds the PCB very, very solidly, while at the same time providing another piece on top, which gives lateral movement to the heat spreader, allowing you to pop it off and see all this around the outside. This is all adhesive that's holding it on, so it allows you to pop it off without doing that. However, this costs about 63 euros. 62.99 or British pounds, not even euros, British pounds, which are worth even more than euros, because England was like, we're going to protect our currency.
Word.
Anyway, moving on from that. But there has already been a follow-up from some 3D printers who have created their own delidding tool. Whereas if you have access to a 3D printer and you can create these models, you can get yourself a delidding tool for significantly less than 63 pounds. As demonstrated right here with this orange printed delidding tool. Again, these all of these videos that they show of it are like it's like all tension, waiting for the buildup, waiting for it to happen, and then eventually there's this like little pop, and like it almost fell.
Jesus.
Wait, let me pull it out of there, grab it, and then the IHS is separated. Okay, so there you go. So for anyone who's interested in removing an IHS from an Intel Skylake processor, there seems to be more options out there. Whether you want to spend 63 British pounds on the option that's available from Overclockers UK.
That does seem kind of pricey for just a little piece of metal that...
It's pricey. It's also like, well, you spent $400 US on your processor, and you really want to do that. Is it worth that much money to make it a much more, like... There's a lot less risk involved. Yeah. I guess.
Right.
Potentially. Anyway, the advantages of removing the internal heat spreader is primarily that it will allow you to overclock more, I guess, is the main point here.
Right.
But it's a really niche audience, I think, for this type of thing.
Yeah.
And it's not something that I felt compelled to do.
No. I mean, unless you're doing like some LN2 or something like that. Which I don't really see myself.
I feel like you need to be pushing for a special like, like you need to be pushing for a world record or something like that.
There needs to be what you do for a living in some regard.
Anyway,
worth it.
All right, let's move on to Dell. Dell with some news this past week in that they have pulled the Superfish, or pulled the Lenovo. In that Lenovo, with their Superfish software, which is absolutely terrible and did stuff to seriously prevent people from having secure internet connections. Dell seems to have done the same thing here, and it's kind of crappy. Specifically, they have been shipping computers pre-installed with a digital certificate that makes it easy for attackers to cryptographically impersonate Google, impersonate the Bank of America, impersonate basically any other HTTPS protected website.
This is exactly like Superfish.
That is out there, which is just like Superfish. They have a self-signed transport layer security credential, TLS. This is issued by an entity calling itself eDellRoot, which is software on the actual computer itself. It's pre-installed as a root certificate on at least 2 Dell laptops right now. Wow, I'm having a difficult time saying words here. It's probably your beer, Kyle.
Inspiron?
Yeah, the Dell Inspiron 5000, as well as the XPS 15.
You asked for the high percentage of alcohol.
I did. I kind of did. So I dug my own prison here. I built my own prison and then dug a hole into that prison. All right. Anyway, so anyone with moderate technical skills can extract the key in this software and use it to sign fraudulent TLS certificates for any HTTPS protected website.
Moderate technical skills. You don't even need to be a pro.
Yeah, moderate technical skills.
Either of us can do this.
This is essentially a big deal. Not a big deal if you don't use any of this hardware. A major big deal if you use this hardware and you're actually susceptible to this.
Right.
According to the article, it's still not exactly clear how widely Dell has distributed this eDellRoot credential, or if they distribute similar root certificates that are also signed with identical private keys. But wow.
Give me your beer.
I'm sorry, man.
You're cut off.
I'm having a really hard time today.
So in layman's terms, for people who aren't as tech savvy, basically someone could with moderate tech skills could forge a fake website by altering some shit on your computer and make you think that you're looking at the Bank of America homepage, when in reality it's their own fabricated website.
Exactly.
Okay.
Thank you, Kyle, for explaining that more. And in fact, even on this website, on the Ars Technica article, Ars Technical, there's this fake website that somebody created called bogus.lessonlearned.org. Welcome to a totally legit website, even showing that the certificate has been signed and approved. Like, sir, this certificate is fine for this completely legit hacker safe website with a picture of a cat with a ninja mask on. Yeah. Basically proving that, thanks Dell for creating the security vulnerability for your customers.
Brilliant.
And creating a pre-signed web security certificate.
Thanks Ars Technical for that article.
thank you Ars Technical. Damn it, Kyle. All right, let's move on. Yahoo News.
Too good. All right.
Yahoo News.
Yahoo.
Windows 10, right? A lot of you guys are using Windows 10. Windows 10 has enjoyed a massive install base. Thanks in large part due to them saying, hey, use Windows 10, it's free. And in secondary part to them being like, hey, use Windows 10, we're going to install it with you having little to no knowledge that we're actually installing it.
Right.
As well as...
By the way, everyone in chat is rioting because it's not actually a cat, it's the Doge.
Oh, it's the Doge?
It's Doge, which I thought, but I was like, well, they drew the little ears on the... Oh, I guess the Doge has ears.
It was very cleverly disguised then.
I forgot cats and dogs
that's how deceptive that software actually is.
That's right.
Disguises the Doge to make you think it's a cat.
Clearly, these guys are all just private investigators or something.
Exactly.
Too good. All right, anyway, sorry for intruding.
Windows 10 has spying features built into it.
Oh.
We already kind of knew this.
This is all joy again.
But Windows 10 has installed itself on a lot of computers.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have been like, cool, Windows 10, and installed it and
Without
gone
knowing.
about their merry business. Other people have been like, ooh, Windows 10, and installed it and then done a little bit more research.
Right.
And have come up with stuff like, for instance, Jerry's video, which is right here, about Windows 10 spying, privacy, and security. Because... let's be honest. I mean, a lot of us are okay with a certain level of our software keeping tabs on what we're doing in order to provide us with hey, you might be interested in this, or hey, you might want to check this out. But Windows 10 seems to be doing it with not as much direct user approval as we might have expected from a company like Microsoft. And this article is speaking specifically about if you've gone in previously and disabled Windows 10's spying features, this Windows 10 update, the one that was launched in November, and then they kind of recalled it and then they relaunched it, actually just ignores any settings that you've done and reestablishes its own default settings.
Right.
Which means that it reenables... it re-enables the spying features that may have been manually disabled from
initially,
people in the past.
Right.
Which is shitty. Honestly, just absolutely shitty.
That's really bad.
Yeah, I don't even know what further to say about this. Jerry, a.k.a. Barnacles, whose video I've already shown here, which I'll post the link in the description.
Who is a former Microsoft employee?
Who is a former Microsoft employee and is also very, very angry about some of the stuff that they've done.
Right.
He has a really good video on disabling a lot of the privacy and security issues and disabling a lot of the Windows 10 spying. But if Windows is really going back with Windows updates and been oh, we forget everything you've told us to do, we're going to re-enable our default modes.
Right.
Every time, that is fucked up. That is bullshit.
Yeah.
Seriously.
That's like playing a game of chess with someone where every time you get up to go to the bathroom, they move a piece.
Exactly.
Falsely. Yeah. And you come back, but they tell you, oh, well, you can move it back, but as soon as you walk to get some more chips, they move it back.
Yeah.
It's total bullshit.
So for those of you who have switched over to Windows 10 for regular day-to-day use, which I have not done.
I have not either.
I have one system that I've set up with Windows 10, and I've barely used it.
Yeah.
But the background service that has been handling the tracking is Diagnostic Tracking Service, or DIAG Track.
Right.
But that has disappeared after the November update because people were like, "Hey, that's the thing that's tracking us," and people started recognizing
smart.
it and
They're getting too
disabling
smart.
it.
Yeah.
They renamed it. It is now called the Connected User Experiences and Telemetry Service.
Oh, but that sounds so much better. Why would you
Yeah,
ever
it's way
disable
better.
that?
It's way better. It still runs in the background. So following this update, Windows has just disregarded some of the user's previously saved privacy settings, resetting everything to defaults. And again, you can go in and disable it again. Bear in mind that change in nomenclature between Diag-Track and Connected User Experiences and Telemetry Service.
Yeah.
But I hope that at some point Microsoft gets to the point where they're like, we've forced this on enough people. We can dial back our aggressive, like, I don't know. Cause
I don't know.
I feel more and more so like the computers that I use on a daily basis that have those Windows 10 pop-ups. Like, hey, you might want to update to Windows 10. Hey, Windows 10. Hey, these are just standard Microsoft Windows updates. I feel like I'm getting closer and closer to be like, oh yeah, Windows updates. I want to install those. Hey, I'm on Windows 10 now.
Yeah.
Like without me agreeing to it.
Right.
And that's crappy.
Yeah. And you know what? I think this is kind of the price that you pay, and it's kind of a depressing realization that, you know, like, oh, how great is Microsoft as a company to just offer this operating system to everyone for free, right? It's a free OS. It's a free operating. It doesn't cost you a dime. But then what is the real expense is that they're tapping into your personal information and spying on you, essentially. And I feel like maybe in some fucked up part of Microsoft, they're like, well, we have the right to do these sorts of things because we're giving you the OS for free. And maybe that is part of their thing. Like, whatever we lose on an actual cost for this OS, we'll make up for with user data and user information.
And I think there is a certain number of people out there and a certain like level of intrusion that people are willing to live with for free software.
Oh yeah, of course.
But it feels more and more so like Microsoft with this Windows 10 push has really gone beyond the bounds of what a lot of people would expect to be reasonable.
Right.
When it comes to software that you trust to run your computer,
Yeah.
you know? I mean, to keep people from looking at and being like, well, Microsoft feels really sketchy lately. Maybe I should look into like this whole Linux thing. I feel like, you know, there's security over there and stuff like that, and I don't really do a lot of stuff besides the basic internet browsing and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, we'll leave it at that.
I'm not switching just yet.
It's
sure.
yeah. There's still a lot to go in Windows 10 and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Let's move to another story here. This is actually Joker or Joker Slunt, which is a combination of slut and cunt.
Oh, is that what it's from?
Yeah. I'm pointing that out very specifically in this
I
one.
never knew what that was.
Yeah, that's what slut means. Anyway, Joker tweeted this earlier, and that's what kind of drew my attention to it. So, yeah. This is from Dark Side of Gaming. This is Just Cause 3. This game just launched today.
Yes, it did.
In fact, last night I was looking at Just Cause 3 and being like, hey, I played some Just Cause 2.
That's fun.
I was kind of interested in Just Cause 3.
Yeah.
Last night it was available for pre-purchase.
Ooh.
I could have bought it last night.
How much
I
is
could have
it?
even gotten myself an Amazon 15% discount because they were offering 15% off of all of their games yesterday for Cyber Monday. I could have pre-ordered this game and got myself 15% off.
No.
Just Cause 3. However,
Mm-hmm.
you know what was not advertised to me prior to the Just Cause 3 launch?
What's that, Paul?
The fact that the Just Cause 3 engine is incompatible with all multi-GPU solutions.
Oh, snap.
That's kind of shitty.
That's
I'll be honest.
shit.
I'll be honest.
For a $60 game.
I'll be honest
Come
too.
on.
I'll be honest. The number of people running multi-GPU configurations right now is very small.
But
Relative to people running single-card solutions.
we're in that group.
A lot fewer people.
You and I, we're in
a lot,
that
yes.
group.
A lot fewer people are running
We care.
dual graphics card solutions, SLI or Crossfire.
Yes.
However, a AAA title, an established AAA title with previous versions out there, an established AAA title with previous versions out there that already has a strong following on PC thanks to a community that has provided mods and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Not offering multi-GPU solution support right out of the gate, I don't know.
Doesn't seem like a smart move.
It's just crappy. It's just one of those things where like, really?
Yeah.
Was this pushed out? Did they rush the launch? Were they like, hey, the number of people who rely on this type of thing are minimal, and so we don't care about pissing them off?
Right.
I don't know.
You can get it on Fast to Play for $35.
That's okay. You can get this on Fast to Play for $35 right now.
So
anyway, Just Cause 3 launched today. According to Nvidia's Andrew Burns, Just Cause 3's engine is just not compatible with SLI or Crossfire. Either one. Just not compatible. That means that Avalanche, which is the developer of this particular title, will need to release a game patch in order to enable multi-GPU support. This is very similar to that what happened with Batman Arkham Knight.
right.
And there's still the question of if they will do it at all for people who have multi-graphics cards. Avalanche could just be like, no, we're not supporting that.
Right.
And leave it at that.
And even if you're using a single card, I heard that there were frame rate issues with this game as well.
Yes, there have been some other issues reported. Again, this game launched today.
Right.
So there have been some other issues reported. But this is not the first time we've seen a lack of support on the PC side for a game launch, especially when it launches simultaneously on PC as well as other platforms such as Xbox and PlayStation 4. It's disappointing.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad. And it's one of the reasons why I think both of us could say we never recommend pre-ordering games.
Yeah.
Because I would say that if I bought this game prior to launch and suddenly realized that there was something like this occurring after the fact, I'd be a little pissed off.
Oh yeah.
And I guarantee this is nothing that they were that they were advertising prior to the launch of the game. Oh, by the way,
Right, of course.
anyone with SLI or Crossfire, you're not going to have support.
No.
They would not mention that in the slightest.
I'm hoping that this is all fixed with like an Nvidia driver update.
Nvidia can't fix it, according to Nvidia.
Oh, okay, it's just hardwired in there.
According to Nvidia, they can't fix it, but Avalanche can fix it by patching the game.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
there's only a certain.
That's too bad because I was looking forward to this potentially being a new after party title.
Yeah.
That we could jump into, if we want to take a breather from GTA
we've
5
had
or something like that.
We've had some great fun with Just Cause 2 in the past,
Right.
for sure. Rainbow Six Siege is another game that also launched today.
Okay.
Also, completely incompatible with multi-GPU
Wow.
gaming. So yeah.
What's up with that?
Kind of crappy.
What's up with that? We should have a new segment called "What's Up with That."
What is up with that?
Isn't that
bullshit?
I feel like that's taken from somewhere, some show or something does that.
It could be.
But both of these articles would be on there.
It very much could be.
What's
All right.
up with that?
Let's move on to
Yep.
the next segment.
All right.
The next segment. Wait.
Let's roll through these because I gotta pee.
Oh, you're right. Next segment is Swordfight. 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 So this is the segment of the show where Kyle and I usually take opposing sides of a contentious topic.
Yes.
And then we also allow you guys to give us your opinion at the same time.
Yes.
I'm actually very interested to see what the results of this one are. Wu-Tang, the Wu-Tang Clan.
Wu-Tang.
You guys all Wu-Tang fans out there?
Cash rules everything around me.
Who's your favorite? Who's your favorite member of the Wu-Tang Clan?
Dollar bill, y'all.
Can you narrow it down from the 100+ entrants? There's a lot of. All right, so the Wu-Tang Clan. This is an article over on Engadget. They have created a one-of-a-kind album. The title of the album is Shaolin.
Right.
And this is a very, very unique piece of art.
That's beautiful.
A piece of art, or what do you call this?
An art piece.
An art piece.
A very expensive album. That's what you
the
call
Wu-Tang Shaolin album, or Once Upon a Time in Shaolin, they have spent 9 years recording 31 tracks for this special LP. And they have sold 1 copy. 1.
And how many more will they sell?
They will sell 0.
So this is the only
Zero
copy in
copies.
existence that will ever be in existence.
Yes.
Okay.
They, again,
That's heavy.
9 months.
That's heavy, Paul.
No, I'm sorry. 9 years 31 tracks. Any one of you guys who are out there who's familiar with the Wu-Tang Clan and who at least has some appreciation of their music knows that the Wu-Tang Clan, they don't put out crap.
No.
I don't know. Like, they have a... I feel like
they have
the
a huge
group...
QA process.
Yeah, they have a very strong,
standard.
Yeah, they have a high standard for what they put out and that kind of thing. So I have found this fascinating. First off, just the amount of time that they put into the album itself, and second off, just to the way that they're going about selling it to anyone.
Chad is already blown up with torrents galore.
Yeah,
the Pirate Bay,
and that is a very, very good question.
Yep.
So they spent 9 years. I keep saying 9 months. 9 years recording 31 tracks for a special LP. They have sold one copy of it for a very high price. Millions. We don't even know the total price that this was sold for, but millions according to Forbes. The deal was completed in May. The contract was finalized recently. The buyer who bought this will get to listen to the album now, and then they will not have the right to release it publicly for 88 years.
What?
According to the terms
what a weird
put
number.
forth by the Wu-Tang Clan.
Weird term.
So the Wu-Tang Clan, for their part, has decided to make a statement when it comes to certain things such as the artistry of the work that they've created, the prevalence of digital distribution methods right now, the availability of content in general for anyone who wants to possibly go out and just download it online,
right,
and the scarcity. Really what it comes down to is the scarcity of something, because when it comes to economics, scarcity is huge. And what they've basically done is set this up as the most scarce album that you could possibly find.
Right.
By only selling it to one person for millions of dollars. And
heavy.
Again,
this is heavy stuff, man.
I just find this fascinating. I don't know. Like it's awesome. Awesome and fascinating to me.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to use this for a straw poll question. We're going to ask this to you guys right now. And you're all welcome to respond in chat, and I'll post this in chat.
How would you even feel if you were the guy who got to, who bought it? Like, you're the only person in existence, apart from the Wu-Tang Clan themselves, to have ever heard this music.
And that's a good question.
That's
crazy. So here's the question we're asking in the straw poll. If you had access to Wu-Tang Shaolin album, would you share it with the world?
So do you mean by access specify you bought it legitimately, or
all right? So specifically, I want to ask this in a way that, all right. So yeah. To be more specific than the question I've asked here, if you had access, so I'm saying if you, not necessarily you bought this. I'm not saying you are the person who spent $5 million or 10 million or whatever you spent on this. Let's say you're a guard at this person's estate or something like that. Whatever the person was who bought this, you could go in there, you could get a digital copy of this, and at no cost to you, you could take that, drop it onto a torrent, drop it onto the web, and suddenly the world will have access to this, because once it's on the web, there's no going anywhere from that.
Well, what kind of guard am I at this estate? Do I have do I get a gun, or am I like one of those shitty ones that have spray?
I don't want it to necessarily be about the practicality of escaping the Wu-Tang compound with the actual digital copy of this. I want it to be more about the fundamentals, like this was created with a specific intent. They obviously did this from the get-go, saying like, here's how we're gonna do this. Here's how we're going to release this. The intent of the artist was that only one person would have access to this for the next 88 years.
Right.
So the question here is would you, if you had access to this, would you go by the artist's original desires and the implications beyond that, and keep it to yourself and not share it with anyone, and maybe just be like, man, I get to listen to this and I'm special as fuck? Or would you say, no, this is art, this is meant to be shared, the world should see this, I will share it with the world, I'm gonna plop it on there, and then anyone who knows how to operate torrent software can see this.
I'm going to let you pick first because I'm curious to see what your natural inclination is.
Okay. Since obviously we're not going to pick option 3, because we usually try to go with the first 2, I'm going to say no. You should not share this.
Damn it.
Yeah, sorry about that. Do you want me to argue first then?
No. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I'm gonna go with the art for art's sake argument here. There's obviously other arguments that you could make here. You could say Wu-Tang made this in specifically for release in this nature. I want to go with the artist's desires. We'll say let's set that to the side. Let's say there's this whole mystique behind it, which I admit I am very interested in. No one has heard this before, so there's this whole like, there's the access to it. No, art for art's sake. And I will say that I have always had a specific respect in my heart for the story of the true artist. That is the artist who, as was described to me, is someone who is an artist, a painter perhaps, who in their attic or somewhere has created this work of art. They spent years on it. They've touched it up here and there. They've meticulously gone over every little aspect of their particular painting that they've created until it was an absolute perfect masterpiece. And then they took it and dropped it into the fireplace, and it burned up and was gone. And this was a story that was relayed to me back in the day, many years ago, and I felt very poignant because I was like, I sympathize with that. I understand that to some extent. If you've created art, it doesn't matter who's seen it. It doesn't matter what kind of adulation it gets. It doesn't matter whether it won a specific award. It doesn't matter whether people like it or hate it. You created that art for yourself. You created that art for a specific purpose. And once it has achieved that purpose, anything beyond that is pretty much meaningless. So in this specific circumstance, I would say that Wu-Tang created this art for this specific purpose, and that anything beyond doing what they have intended for it would be soiling or tainting the art that they have created.
So if their sole intent and purpose of this album was to just make a shit ton of money.
Paul is high as fuck, by the way.
Paul is high as fuck.
Okay.
If there, I mean, like there has to be little other intent and purpose in selling this album other than to just make millions and millions of ridiculously cold hard cash. Because, I mean, what does Wu-Tang get off from a guy, like one guy listening to like 9 years of their music? Like,
does Wu-Tang need the sales of millions of dollars worth of albums? No, I think
it doesn't hurt. Greed is a bottomless pit. Cash rules everything around me.
Cash does rule everything around me.
Cream, get the money.
I was worried you would use a specific quote from Wu-Tang
that automatically wins the argument.
Oh, you're right.
It's straight from the horse's mouth. But okay, so I think playing devil's advocate here. If I had access to the album, would I share it with the world? Yes, of course I would, because it's everyone's. And I think just because you are, let's say you're the rich bastard who bought the damn thing, right? And somehow I'm able to procure a copy of it from you or steal the digital, files from you. You still have the physical copy. And I think there is something to be said about the sanctity of a physical copy of a physical work of art.
So you're a box hoarder.
Box hoarder, of course. We're all box hoarders in the PC DIY community here, Paul. And a box like that is to be treasured and valued. And I would not want to try to make imitation boxes of this album piece and try to sell them on the black market or whatever. But the digital files, all right, that you can just share with millions across the world, go for it, all right? People should hear 9 years worth of Wu-Tang amazement and goodness for their own good souls, all right? So, but here's the thing is, like, I have like every Beatles song on my iPod, right? I've got Abbey Road and all the other albums that you could possibly imagine, but it still doesn't mean the same thing as the Abbey Road vinyl copy that someone might have, like a first edition Abbey Road vinyl, right? There's a difference there, and I feel like that's a lot of what this person would be paying for is this box. I mean, this box looks like it's been hand carved from like an African child, that works at Nestle on the weekends. Like, it's crazy. Like, okay, so that's what he's getting. This is a collector's item that he can hang on a wall and impress his fancy rich ass friends with. Oh, I got the only Wu-Tang Clan album. You've heard of them, right? I've heard of them. That's what this is for. I mean, they got pictures of buff dudes posing with it, all right? But the actual digital files, that's any hacker's cup of tea right there. You go in, you fucking source the shit, and you torrent it to the world, and everyone's happy. The rich guy doesn't even give a shit. The rich guy who bought it doesn't even give a shit. He probably hasn't even listened to the tracks on it or even know what the fuck Wu-Tang's talking about because he's too busy drinking his fucking cappuccino with his pinky out, saying like, look at this thing I bought. It's expensive. So that's why. I
like the people in chat who are confused about your allusions to an African child. It's like, what is this guy talking about?
And you thought Paul was high as fuck.
I'm really curious what you guys think about this one.
It's jet lag, bitches.
Let's see results. All right, it's close. It's close, but it looks like most people would share it. What is a work of art with other people to enjoy it? But a lot of people would say no.
Very close.
Art for art's sake. I mean, yeah, it's honestly it's a
toss-up.
Yeah, this 40%, 47%. That's probably about the way I say I would feel about it myself.
Yeah.
There's definitely a strong part of me that says, yeah, art for art's sake and all that stuff.
Right.
But definitely a big part that says, like, yeah, people, you make something, it should be shared. People should enjoy it.
Yeah.
All that good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to something slightly less serious, I guess. Christmas. Christmas is here. Look at this.
Jingle bells.
Actually, no one's gonna care for goddamn shit about this unless I put the music on. All right, so this, I'll be honest, this is from last year. This is the Star Wars Music Light Show.
That's still cool,
but it's still absolutely fabulous.
This
is somebody who put an entire Star Wars light show on their house with music and these lights across the top. Do these fabulous?
Is that a drum set in the driveway?
I couldn't figure out what the drum set was for. I was watching.
It's also lighting up
different parts of the show.
How's the drum set lighting up?
Yeah, the drum set lights up, but I was expecting like a dude to walk out at some point and do like a solo on it or something like that. So yeah, we can't hear anything right now because I have the volume turned off, but I don't know if you guys can hear any of this.
There needs to be a seizure warning with houses
can't.
Like these.
Oh, now we can hear.
Remember that time Grandma got a stroke? Or Grandma had a seizure?
What is wrong with your phone?
It's just vibrating.
Anyway, so this is a Star Wars Music Light Show.
Death March.
Going on with all the Star Wars songs.
Love it.
Fabulous.
I love the strobes on top of the house. That makes it.
There's some like mouths here that sing along with the songs as well.
Why can't we have PC like RGB LEDs that are this responsive and this responsive to audio? Usually they all suck right now.
Oh yeah. See here, these mouths sing along.
These are accurate as fuck.
These lightsabers come out at the top and have a lightsaber duel.
What? There should be one red one and one green one though, or a purple one.
Yeah, they fight along with each other. Anyway, though, challenge has been laid out for anyone who wants to. What's going on right now? For anyone who wants to try to combat that and create a similar site or a similar website.
Can do that
at the same time, though, just a public service announcement to any guys out there: Christmas fairy lights can slow down your Wi-Fi.
Fairy lights in particular?
Specifically the fairy lights. I don't know what specifically means a fairy light. This site seems specifically to say fairy lights.
Is it that like the little bulbous ones?
These bulbous ones? I'm not sure. But they can slow down your Wi-Fi connection, and that, my friends, is an egregious something that we should never allow anyone to do.
No, of course not.
Yeah, so specifically, if you're having trouble with your Wi-Fi connection just after you put up your Christmas lights, I guess you should maybe check this out. Ofcom.
Where's the sword fight in all of this?
OFCOM has a Wi-Fi checker app that you can download, although this article says that it sucks. So you can use that to see if your Wi-Fi has specifically
now you know which
been
app not to download.
dropping out at certain times. All right, but let's ask you guys an actual sword fight question, which is about Christmas lights, right? This all ties in. This all makes sense. I'm gonna post this in chat right now. We're gonna have a very epic sword fight right now about Christmas lights and which types of Christmas lights are tasteful Christmas lights. I have not put up my Christmas lights yet.
Do you usually put up Christmas lights?
Because I am waiting. I'm waiting to find out which Christmas lights, according to our audience, are the tasteful ones. Because I don't want to put up anything that people aren't into, right?
LEDs that chase around the.
All right. So what? So the options here are just all the lights. Just take whatever lights you have and put them out there and plug everything in. That's all you need. As long as you have as many lights as possible. We got the blinky multicolored lights. We got the solid white lights, the Christmas lights. LED lights that chase around like a line of ants. You know, those little trickly ones. You know. And, of course, the icicle lights.
You're right. The sword fight is a lot less serious than the Wu-Tang one.
This is significantly less serious than the Wu-Tang one, but nonetheless important for anyone who's out there deciding which goddamn lights to decorate their house with.
Could make or break
your holiday. So which of these do you choose?
So are we only allowed to choose one then?
You choose one. You defend that one to the death.
Okay. Since you went first last time, I'll go first this time. And I'm going to say that the kind of Christmas lights that are the most tasteful out of this list, because I think there are multiple options here that could work, but the ones that are most tasteful, in my opinion, are the solid white Christmas lights applied sparingly to the roof trim and trees.
Damn. Of course. Tell why those are the best, Kyle.
All right, and here's why. They are not only tasteful, but they are classy as fuck. Okay? They make your house look like there's a healthy, responsible family living there. All right, you put up the first option, all the lights, as many that will fit. You're automatically a hoarder by the community standards. Everyone in the neighborhood knows that you're anal retentive. You've got too many skeletons in the closet, and you're a pack rat. All right, you're messy. The inside of your house is dirty. You want to light up the world because you're sad with your own existence for whatever reason. The blinky multicolored lights are the only lights. Okay. Blinky multicolored lights, that means you're like ADD, all right? Maybe your house isn't messy like group number 1, but you're like on the verge of a panic attack because you're all spracked out, all right? You're probably on a little hint of meth, you know, or whatever.
It's a little meth.
It's Adderall, but, you know, it's the same shit anyway, even though it's prescribed. And you are a control freak. You got the blinky light. You just don't shut the fuck up. No one likes you. No one comes caroling. The carolers just skip your house entirely. They're like, all right, we don't need to spread any cheer over here. ADD motherfucker. All right, so solid white lights. And then those LEDs that chase around your house like a line of ants. Who even uses those anymore? Let's group it in with icicle lights. All right, those are all just... I hope you don't have any of these lights. I'll feel bad. Seriously, these lights are just they're very childish, and it seems like, you know, it's like a Fisher Price kit of Christmas lights.
Okay.
All right. I've said too much.
All right. So I have to take an opposing viewpoint. So I'm gonna stand up for icicle lights here. Icicle lights for the win. Absolutely. See, we live in Southern California, a place where ice is something that we talk about and sometimes is delivered to us in water, but nothing that occurs naturally. So icicle lights are those things that it spreads the cheer of the season around. And when you drive past a house with icicle lights on it and you see those simulated ice via LED lights, you're like, wow, that looks like almost ice has occurred.
No.
Here and dripped down from this house.
Never thought
and then
that.
Lit up for my viewing pleasure.
Nope.
Which makes it all the better. And Christmas is here. glorious, wonderful times. I'm pushing buttons. So you said that's why icicle lights are awesome.
That was it?
I'm sorry. Look, Kyle, I did this.
That was brief.
And I put up 5 answers, and I figured Kyle's chance of picking the one answer that I actually want to pick is slimmer
incredibly
now.
high because it's the only choice.
And Kyle picked
clearly.
Kyle picked the answer that I would have picked, which is solid white Christmas lights.
But it didn't even win. Most people said all the lights.
Everyone said all the lights. Everyone's like, so here's apparently what you should do, which is
cram them all.
Which is basically every year you go out and buy lights. You add them to your current collection of lights. Pay no attention to your current collection of lights, anything established from years past. You add those new lights to the old lights, and you make more lights. Every year you do this, and you create this massive collection of lights. And it doesn't matter if they match or if it looks good or anything like that. You put them out because you have them.
Yeah.
That is the all the lights mentality.
That's what everyone agrees with.
And that is apparently what everyone agrees with, to the tune of 7% more than anything else. I'm disappointed.
I will promptly vomit the next time I come to your house for awesome hardware and see that every single light that you could find in the neighborhood is strung up to your house.
I'm slightly disappointed, but it's okay. All right, let's move on.
All right. What do we got?
Shoot, we have another thing that I'm going to replace.
Oh, boy.
It's supposed to be slideshow.
Oh, boy. Slideshow?
We're moving on to, wait.
So should we just do one more segment? It's 7.
No, here it is. Yay!
It's almost 8.
Tech of the day after tomorrow.
All right.
Kyle, you get to eat the icicle. Or the snow cone. Here you go. Yeah, I get it. Get it.
Oh, so good.
Get it. All right.
It's melting. Get it quick.
All right, it's time for Tech of the day after tomorrow.
Yum.
That means Tech of the future. That's what we're going to talk about right now. Researchers have found a new phase of carbon.
A new phase?
A new phase of carbon.
It's going through its adolescent phase?
Yes. This has allowed them to make diamonds at room temperature.
As opposed to
it's kind of fancy.
Hotter than
look at these diamonds right there.
Damn, diamonds are so nice.
Just look at those diamonds, Cal, while I explain to you that researchers from North Carolina State University have discovered a new phase of solid carbon called Q-carbon. This is distinct from the known phases of carbon, such as graphite and diamond.
Okay.
Yeah, right there.
Sweet.
Anyway,
love diamonds.
They've also developed a technique for using Q-carbon to make diamond-related structures at room temperature and at ambient atmospheric pressure and air.
I'm learning so much about diamonds.
It basically means that they can make this shit at room temperature. They can make this shit at normal atmospheric pressure.
What do you mean they can make diamonds?
They can create it.
Like they can...
They still have to apply a laser to like 4,000 degrees Kelvin or something to create these structures. But they can do that at normal room temperature and at normal atmospheric pressure.
I see.
Which makes the manufacturing process much simpler.
Does this mean the prices of diamonds will lower?
Not traditional diamonds, because this is a third phase of carbon called Q-carbon, not specifically the same as a diamond.
Oh. So it's like a knockoff diamond.
To some extent.
It's a second rate.
But it's
diamond.
It's harder than a normal diamond.
Does that make it more valuable though?
Perhaps. According to the scientists who are researching this at North Carolina State University, the only place that this might be found, this specific type of diamond, naturally occurring, would be in the core of certain planets. So they're definitely doing some magic stuff.
That definitely sounds more awesome than a regular diamond.
All right. So here's some cool stuff, right? Here's some cool stuff about these Q-carbons, right? First off, it's ferromagnetic. Do you know what that means?
I used to. And then
I used to know too.
Because I never used it.
And then I read it and I was like, what does that mean? And then I looked it up and now I know what it means again. Ferromagnetic basically means that it can hold a magnetic polarization.
Okay.
So you've had like pieces of metal before, right? And you can like magnetize them.
Right.
To magnetize something basically means ferromagnetic. That's a simplification, but I'm going to stick with it. All right. So that's interesting. It's also harder than a normal diamond. They also glow when exposed to low levels of energy. Does that sound useful to you at all? A material that glows when exposed to low levels of energy.
No, but the magnetic thing would make for a good like fridge magnet if you want like a diamond. I mean, that could be useful.
Okay.
But not the energy thing.
This is very promising for use in like future.
Definitely not the energy thing.
Future display technology.
Oh.
A low level of energy
Sure.
applied to something that glows
Right.
could potentially be a replacement for something like a TFT, TN, IPS panel.
Diamond.
Even OLED.
Diamond display.
Yeah. Okay.
Q diamond.
The manufacturing process for these can make Q carbon films, the way that they're constructed, between 20 nanometers and 500 nanometers in thickness.
Okay.
And then controlling the cooling process of these materials can also cause diamond structures to be created, such as needles.
Diamond needles.
Yeah.
Oh.
Diamond needles.
Wouldn't mind getting stuck with one of those.
It's the only way to fly. Okay.
Only the best for my veins.
Exactly. Moving along.
All right. What do we got?
I don't know. I'm starting to burp. It's weird.
No.
Okay. LiFi. LiFi. The LiFi internet technology revolution is upon us.
Okay.
LiFi is light fidelity, I guess. Anyway. This is a wireless data transmission standard
Okay.
using light.
Okay.
So what's currently used right now for wireless transmission standards is RF or radio frequencies. Damn it, cow. Radio frequencies. This one uses light. It could be 100 times faster than Wi-Fi.
Okay.
1 gigabit per second. It could reach up to 3.5 gigabits per second. This specific area of technology is called VLC, or Visible Light Communication.
Okay. VLC, good program.
Yes.
I agree.
But consider that probably what this would actually do is use light to communicate in non-visible spectrum, in the non-visible spectrum of light. So ultraviolet or infrared.
Okay.
That we can't actually see. But if you had, for instance, a light bulb flashing at a certain
frequency
or a number of times per second, or flashing at a certain rate that indicated data transmission, and you had something down here, it'd be as simple as like using a remote control.
Okay.
Because a remote control, you push a button, and it's like it uses usually, I think, infrared.
Yeah.
And then there's a sensor that picks up that infrared flashing or signal.
Right.
So take that and combine it with like every outlet you have in your home. Imagine if every outlet in your home was also flashing light in the visible spectrum that you can't see, so it doesn't interfere with your day-to-day spectrum.
Sure.
But anything that you have that's being hit by that light,
right,
which generally speaking in a bed, in a room isn't that much,
right,
can pick up a data transmission from that.
Right.
Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense.
That makes sense.
To all you guys.
That makes sense.
I'm
with you.
Yeah. So an LED light that blinks at a high-speed transmission rate to transmit data in a binary form.
Okay.
Harold Haas is the gentleman who's, I believe is the inventor of this technology. He has a TED Talk. I only watched a little bit of it, but I imagine the whole thing is fascinating. Anyway, in the TED Talk, he posits a future where every single LED light could become an information transmitter. So every light that you have in any light socket in your home could be
that's pretty cool,
flashing in a spectrum that you don't see. So you still just have like light, you can still see stuff.
Right.
But there's another wavelength of that light that is also transmitting data.
Nice.
Which makes sense. Anyway, again, 100 times faster than current traditional Wi-Fi. And all we need to do is fit a small microchip to every potential illumination device. And this would then combine two basic functionalities, illumination and wireless data transmission.
This is like wireless FiOS.
Yeah.
Like Wi-Fios.
Yes. But it's not 100% like completely faultless because it is light, which means that, for instance, it can't transmit through walls.
Right.
But
You just need it in every room then.
if you have a light in one room and a light in another room, then you don't need to transmit through walls.
And for 100 times faster than Wi-Fi, that's worth it. That's
all
worth
you have
the
to do is trust
hassle.
them to put the special microchips in your light sockets that don't transmit your nude pictures to other people. Anyway,
I don't have any nude pictures on my phone.
you have a few.
How
One or two. Moving on, how to really engineer a human baby. All right, this one.
Oh, yeah.
This one's a little bit in depth, so
I
I'm
think I
going to
roped in some new viewers
charge through this very quickly.
from plugging that in the tweet.
You did transmitting
I told people that
engineering human
you're gonna
babies.
teach them how to engineer.
This is tech
genetically
of the day
engineer.
after tomorrow, and we do not at all limit ourselves to non-tech of the day after tomorrow. All right, so back in April, a Chinese researchers tried to gene editing in human babies. They did that with about 80 human embryos. However, the success rate was fairly minimal.
Okay.
That means it was bad.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Sounds
next
bad.
week, like literally next week, if you're watching this live or at least within a day or two of when it uploads, in Washington, D.C., the world's experts are going to be convening to specifically discuss a powerful new genetic engineering technology called CRISPR. I think we've actually discussed this a little bit on the show before.
Yeah.
At the National Academy of Sciences. They're going to consider calling for global moratorium on gene-modified babies using CRISPR, because CRISPR is one of the most promising technologies to actually modify genes
Of course.
in humans. They're worried about, among other things, playing God, the slippery slope towards eugenics, blah, blah, blah. all that crap.
Blab on about it.
Anyway, Jinsong Li is a biologist at the Shanghai Institute for Biological Sciences, and he has managed to use CRISPR to edit a gene that causes eye cataracts in mice. And he, as opposed to some other scientists who have tried this technology, has had 100% success rate,
Wow.
according to him,
Not bad.
in creating healthy newborn animals.
Okay.
Jinsong Li has done this by avoiding modifying the genes of embryos and instead editing the genes of spermatogonial sperm.
Sperm.
Yes. Instead,
Spermatoza.
editing the genes in the sperms, which are sperms you could look at as factory cells that
Right.
make people.
Yes.
So by editing the mouse sperm cells first and then using that corrected sperm to make embryos, his mice, according to him, have come out perfect every time, avoiding some of the embryo problems that some of the original CRISPR testers.
So do they have some genetically engineered
in
babies
China
running
have done.
around right now?
We don't know for sure.
Oh.
But hey, with
One day.
the incredible success and popularity of superhero movies, that's only natural.
Yeah.
Anyway, Lee is convinced that embryo editing is unacceptable and that correcting the reproductive cells is the only possible strategy for this. And it does seem, at least according to him, that this is a much more viable option than actually trying to edit the embryos themselves. So creating designer sperm is now the new hotness. You create the designer sperm, and then they can create the designer people. This is a harder thing as compared to editing the DNA of actual eggs,
Right.
from that sourced from females, because in females, whereas with males, with us, we're creating new sperms all the time. Like, we get rid of them so quick, we got to make new ones,
The
right?
Wild West.
Yeah, we just
Shooting
shoot
them
them
out.
off everywhere. Whereas with the females, all their eggs, they come built in.
Yeah.
There's one.
On
It's
board.
like, I got my eggs.
Onboard eggs.
No new eggs created. No old eggs. Yeah. So that's how it works with females. So it is harder to do this gene editing with females than it is with males, or at least editing the unfertilized egg as compared to editing the sperm.
Right.
However, and I'm not going to give you any details with this, but the article at least says that a workaround may be possible. and that will allow them potentially in the future to like take a skin punch from a female, and then later in that day or later that week deliver, say, here, based on your skin punch, here are your eggs genetically modified to like remove, you know, any congenital heart failure or diseases, or, you know, these will create the spawn of Satan that will take over the world and create. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen with gene editing in the future.
Right.
We'll leave it at that. Anyway, that's all.
Do you think like Austin and John from TLD will like be posting pictures of like their genetically engineered human baby with the hashtag Team CRISPR?
They're already very dedicated to this specific field of technology, so I would not be surprised.
Okay.
I would not be surprised in the least.
Good.
Okay. That is all for this episode. We normally take questions at the end, but I feel like we have already gone long.
Yes.
So I'm going to answer one question from
Long and
Sween
hard.
right here. That says, how's it going?
It's going well.
I think it's going pretty well.
Pretty
right
damn
now.
well.
Thank you guys all for watching, for tuning in. We'll be back next week on twitch.tv/awesomehardware with another Awesome Hardware episode.
Yeah.
If you're watching this on our YouTube channels, first off, thank you for watching my YouTube channel. Go to watch Kyle's channel for the first half of the show. If it's not ready yet, tweet at Kyle and tell him to hurry up.
Yeah. I'm
That's
definitely
all.
responsive to those sorts
That's
of
all we've
tweets.
got there.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys. Johnson's. Oh, we
Johnson,
can't forget
thank you.
Johnson's.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Cell. Thank you, Cell, for reminding us.
Cell's the man.
Reminding us of the Johnsons.
I love the cell, baby.
Look at, I've got so many Johnsons coming at me right now. Just don't forget the Johnsons. Don't forget the Johnsons.
People go
All right,
crazy.
sorry, guys. I apologize. Last week,
I'll be crazy.
2 weeks ago, I forgot completely, and then remembered during the after party, which was not quite as satisfactory. Andrew, Colden, Tate, and Randall. I got 4 Johnsons right
I only
now.
got one Johnson today.
Right now.
Slow week for me. Colden, double Johnson.
Colden, double Johnson.
Coming
There
at
we
you.
go.
Thank you,
Oh,
brother.
yeah. Beautiful. All right, Colden, Andrew, Tate, and Randall. Thank you guys so much for supporting us. Again, guys, we've got those ongoing deals on our websites. Mine is, what I forget mine is.
Store.paulshardware.net.
Store.paulshardware.net. Kyle's is
You're welcome.
is awesome.
SauceNetwork.com/store.
Check those out.
It's a great time to end the show.
And it's a great time to end the show. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll be back later. Have a wonderful week. Have a fabulous holiday season. Wait, we're going to be back more before the holidays.
Yes.
Yeah, we got more holiday stuff.
And
Anyway.
good night.
All right. Good night, everyone. Have a good one.